Mom told me to leave in the middle of holiday lunch. No warning, no argument, just a cold command between clinking forks and fake smiles. 1 second, I was passing the rules. The next, my mother, Diane, said, "Stop leaning on this family. Go!" The room froze. My father, Gordon, studied his plate. My older brother, Luke, stared at a dead phone. Evan smirked into his wine. I didn't move at first. The chandelier's warmth sat on my face the way it did when I was a kid and still believed light meant safety. From the street, our house performs tradition, glazed ham, straight wreath, laughter at sounds real if you don't listen. Inside, you learn what every silence means. I'm Mara Jensen, 42, and I've been the quiet solution for years to Luke's legal trouble, Evan's son's tuition, my parents' utilities when things got tight. I paid because it thought showing up enough would buy me a permanent seat at that table. Diane Useto say, "Strong women carry the family." She never taught my brothers to lift, she taught them to pass the weight home. So when she accused me of relying on them, nothing snapped. It clicked into place. Clarity, clean and brutal. I rose, draped my coat over my arm, and met her eyes. I'm going home. No one offended me. No one followed. Outside, the cold hit like clean water that I drove back to the city without looking in the mirror, afraid I'd see myself begging. My hands were steady on the wheel, steadier than ever before. In my apartment, I shut the door, set my laptop on the table, and opened it. A thumb, the quiet felt like instruction. I opened my laptop and looked at the ledger. My parents' electric and water, Luke's temporary payment plan, Evan's monthly school transfer. The totals didn't read like love anymore. They read like leverage. It turned off autopay. Accounts I'd funded for years blinked out. Utilities, payment plans, help that had become expected. Then Pine Hollow, the cabin they call the family place. Well, it paid the propane and internet and got excuses when I asked to join them there. Cancel. Confirm. Done. Each email receipt felt like a breath I'd been holding. In an old folder, I found the cabin transfer paperwork Diane had insisted I arrange. My attorney had insisted on a reversion clause. It signed to keep peace. Now, the clause sat plain and blunt. If they contested the agreement, ownership reverted to mutamadically. 3 days later, Evan called. "What did you do?" He snapped. "The cabin's freezing. Caleb's weekend is ruined." I stopped paying for things I don't use. I said he tried to dress his anger in words like loyalty and sacrifice. I let him talk until he ran out of air, then said, "Mom told me to stop leaning on the family." I hung up. 2 days after that, a heavy envelope hit my mailbox. Law office letterhead, Diane's name, a petition claiming distress and misunderstanding. She wanted the cabin back. I called my lawyer. He skimmed it, then said almost kindly, "They just trigger the clause. Pine Hollow is yours again. Effective immediately." I picked a diner near our old neighborhood, public enough, bright enough to behave. I arrived early, slid into a back booth, set a folder on the table, and watched the door. They arrived together, a practice front. Diane went first, chin high, eyes sharp, followed by Gordon, shoulders rounded, then Luke, pale as the linoleum. Evans lit in last, all restless knee and swagger. I didn't stand. I nudged the menu aside and opened my folder. Diane's voice was sweet enough to sting. "Mara, this has gone far enough. You've made your point." "I didn't file anything," I said. "You did." Her smile twitched. "We were forced. The cabin is mine again." I cut in, calm as glass. "The moment you contested the transfer, their version clause activated. You trigger at it." Gordon's eyes lifted, watery and stunned. Luke swallowed. Evan scoffed, but the sound wobbled. I slid the next pages across the sticky tabletop. Years off payments neatly totaled. Utilities, tuition, lawyers, repairs. The overhead lights flashed on the ink like little blades. Luke stared. "You paid all this?" "Yes," I said, because I thought being useful was the same as being loved. Diane pushed the papers back with 2 fingers. "Families help each other." "Then help each other," I said. "Without 'em." Evan leaned forward. "So you're recutting us off?" "I'm setting myself down," I answered. "There's a difference." Istud, smoothed my coat, and placed my key ring on the table. Pine Hollow's brass key catching the light. "I want fund a life where I'm treated like an ATM with feelings. Gordon whispered my name, but it sounded like habit. I walked out to the brittle afternoon, the bell above the door chiming once. For the first time, the weight left Miss Holders in one clean final drop. That night, I slept without bracing for a phone call.